Oh yeah, my mic's hot. I am getting ready. Is everything set up? Yeah, oh, it is. Hi, everybody. Good to see y'all. Let's get chat on there. What else do I need to adjust here? During the setup phase, I don't mind having. Oh yeah, I'm glad that's what was up there and like nothing embargo breaking. It's just my thumbnail. Well, now I'm worried about the other one. Okay. Yikes. My scenes aren't changing. Boop. I keep forgetting to set this stuff up. This one's fine. This is like the Reacts window. This is the main one that we're going to use today. We have a lot of news to go over today, everybody. So, yeah. I have Xbox news. I have PlayStation news. I have news about Bungie. I have news about GTA 6, Larian, Dragon's Dogma, Tencent news about... Oh, I can't remember what this one's about. Let me look. Assassin's Creed. Connie Booth going over to EA. Connie Booth for me. I guess that's sort of in PlayStation news, right? A lot has been going on. A lot has been going on in the industry this week. So I kind of thought I would discuss that, how everything has been changing. Because it seems like the industry is changing very rapidly and very quickly. And yeah. Looks like we got 200 people watching already. Hey, everybody. Somebody was asking me to label my clip outs. I'll have to think about how to do that. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Because I want people to watch the clip outs. So I don't want it to be like a net negative. I guess I want people that want to watch it. Anyway, like I said, got to think about it. No worry, Eat Fresh. Let's kill the music. Boop. Oh man, you know what? I really like the music, but I get in a different headspace when I have the music on. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We're going to be going over all the gaming news this week. Largely some really, really cool Xbox stuff happened. So somebody brought it to my attention that Xbox has reached an agreement. Spoilers, it was Jez. Jez was like, hey, this is good news. You should check it out. So Xbox has reached an agreement with Crash Bandicoot Spyro dev Toys for Bob for their next game. Now, when this news was originally announced, it was, you know, sort of a negative because it was around the layoffs and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it looks like Xbox has struck a deal with Toys for Bob to keep doing, to allow Toys for Bob to keep doing what they love. And the main theme of today's episode, or today's live stream, is probably going to be about the tumultuous state of the industry. You know, we have a lot of change in focus that we're seeing online from everybody, basically. And I think the news about the industry largely reflects that. And that's why I titled the stream what I titled it. But let's get into actually what has been happening. And I do appreciate y'all hanging out. If you like my content, of course, subscribe, hit that like button, and all that stuff. But Xbox has reached an agreement with Crash Bandicoot Spyro dev Toys for Bob for their new game. Toys for Bob, known for handling Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, is now working with Microsoft on their first game since going independent. What you need to know. Recently, Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard King in a blockbuster $72 billion deal that gave the software giant control over franchises like Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and Candy Crush Saga. Included in the acquisition was legendary studio Toys for Bob, who have worked on franchises like Skylanders, Spyro the Dragon, and Crash Bandicoot across a 30-year history. Last month, Microsoft and Toys for Bob agreed to part ways, with the latter spinning out into an independent company. Microsoft retains ownership of Skylanders, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and other properties associated with Activision. Other sources have confirmed that Toys for Bob has now finalized an agreement with Xbox to fund their first title. That is great news for Toys for Bob. That means they're going to be able to operate at least for a few years on that income and be able to work on developing this game, and hopefully it comes out. Because at the end of the day, that's what any game studio wants, right? They want to make great games, and they want to be able to share those games with the rest of us so that we can play and hopefully enjoy them. Here's what Jez has to say about the situation. Sources have indicated to me previously that Toys for Bob's culture didn't gel well with Activision's oft restrictive corporate mandates, and they were excited for the opportunity to spin out as independent in agreement with Microsoft. When they initially spun out, they released a statement indicating that they were confident they would work with Activision and Xbox in the future, and that they were exploring a possible partnership. It now seems like those talks have bared fruit. That is great, honestly. So I think that's wonderful. Quick, Matthew says, I come to you for gaming, but enjoy your Hoglong Packer videos the most for some reason. I think those are very nice to just sort of watch in long form and hang out and enjoy. I do appreciate you saying some kind words about the content that I make, though. Yeah, that's always nice to hear, y'all. It's been tricky to make content the last few weeks. As you've probably seen, you know, there have been fewer uploads. I've tried doing a few different things. The kids just need a lot of attention right now, and it's a lot of family time, which is very important. And I've had a lot of big assignments at IGN. I did the Rise of Ronin preview. I did the Dragon's Dogma 2 preview. I did the Path of Exile preview. I have assignments around. It's just like, it was a lead up to like this week around the 21st where I got slammed. So hopefully I can get back into the flow where I'm able to do the YouTube content and balance out, have a better work-life balance, for lack of a better term. I don't mean to dump that all on you. I don't know where that came from, but I'm glad that Matthew said a nice thing. So I do appreciate you saying something like that. Here's what Jez continues on to say about the topic, though. During a recent town hall meeting described to us by sources familiar with the event, a staffer asked the panelists about Toys for Bob, given that they're now going independent, separate from Microsoft and Activision. Toys for Bob's leadership was adamant about keeping the team together and also about returning to the style of game the studio is known for. Microsoft referenced how they spun out Twisted Pixel in the past as an alternative option to shuttering studios. Matt Booty, now leading Xbox's game content division, reportedly said that an agreement has now been reached between Xbox and Toys for Bob for their first game as an independent studio. However, he stopped short of describing exactly what it will be, although he did say something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing, it will be similar to games Toys for Bob has made in the past. So what do you imagine that is going to be? Like Jez is using a Spyro thumbnail. And Jez actually says something interesting here. Toys for Bob may be independent, but the fact that they told fans to keep their horns on could be in reference to Spyro the Dragon, which enjoys a passionate fan base to this day. Toys for Bob, I believe they worked on the Crash Bandicoot series and they worked on Spyro. So both of those games have like a really, really passionate fan base that will play anything that comes out around them. And I'm very happy to see that Xbox, instead of shuttering this, Xbox could have just closed down Toys for Bob and they're like, you know what, you can go independent. Like, do whatever you want. So I do think that is great news for Toys for Bob. And I'm very excited to see what they end up producing. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that is a better option than any of the alternatives that could have been given. I don't know German, but I knew Guten Tag is hello. So Bump, thank you for saying hello. And I hope it's, I don't know what the rest of it is, but I assume it's nice. In addition to that, though, there is another Xbox thing that Jez mentioned, and this is going to be the Jez Corden episode apparently, because Jez Corden had a lot of spice this week, and I am very excited about the spice that Jez Corden has been bringing, because Xbox is prototyping a native Xbox handheld, it's claimed. I'm very excited about that. I think that the idea of Xbox getting into the handheld space is interesting. You know, you got Nintendo with the Nintendo Switch 2. You have PlayStation doing the PlayStation Portal or whatever it was called for, I think it was $200, which is whatever. And there's problems with the Portal, but they tried something, right? If Xbox is doing something and they can learn from the mistakes of the Portal, learn from the successes of the Steam Deck, and learn from the successes of the Switch, maybe they're on to something. But I would have to say, like, just don't make it closed system. Make it just basically a Windows system where you could install third-party games and stuff. That would be ideal, or at least make it hackable like the Steam Deck is, because that's what you're going up against, in my opinion. What else do we got here? Jez Corden of the Xbox 2 podcast has claimed that they're working on a new native Xbox handheld. Here's what he said during the podcast. I know that they've, Xbox, have got handheld prototypes right now. Corden soon clarified that these are new prototypes and not the old prototypes often referred to. As pointed out in the podcast, prototypes don't necessarily mean that new products are coming to market, but Xbox pursuing a handheld isn't all that surprising. He later said, no, not a cloud handheld, a fully native Xbox handheld. That is very, very interesting. A lot of people have made ridiculous Photoshops of imaginary Xbox handhelds, and I personally think that would be really, really cool if Xbox got into the handheld market. Should it be their main focus from the console space? No, I don't think they need to go that crazy, but I do think, because they're a $3 trillion company, that if they had a handheld and that is their thing for this holiday that Sarah Bond alluded to during the podcast, and then they have another piece of hardware revealed at a later time, I think that would be really, really interesting in terms of the console space. So no, I don't think that the handheld is like their next gen console, but I do find it really interesting that they're getting into the handheld market, and I think it's a smart move. So Toys for Bob making a Spyro game. That's great. Toys for Bob could have been shuttered. It wasn't. And now they're making a new game. So that's always awesome. Xbox looking at potentially making a new handheld. Actually, Insider Gaming goes into the podcast comments. On the official Xbox podcast, newly crowned Xbox president Sarah Bond also broke down what's next for Xbox. We've got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. We're also invested in the next generation roadmap. What we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building. I should just put that. Oh, is my stream messing up? I should just put that. Oh God, something's breaking. It's just saying drop frames and it's going nuts. What is happening? Everything's good. Let me see what's going on here. I'm not sure why I would suddenly have streaming issues. Let me just see what's going on here.